The Yom Kippur War was one of the most traumatic events in Israel's history, and as years go by, it can be a difficult period to teach to young people in the country. A new simulator now combines old stories with the new world, as our defense correspondent Jonathan Regev reports.
Yom Kippur War was a time of indecision and doubts that almost led Israel to its destruction.
How do you engage the younger generation in learning history? An Israeli company, the Media Alliance Gaming Studios, may have found the answer.
In our history simulator, you will discover the real historical events and make strategic decisions that will affect Israel and the world.
It is a simulator about the Yom Kippur War, which broke out 48 years ago. The developers describe it as edutainment, combining both education and entertainment. You learn while you play.
Well, because we use the medium of gaming, we're able to, let's say, cram much more information than you could in a book or a movie into one simulator. The player can also absorb that information because we throw it at him in different ways. The player is actively participating rather than passive participation like in a book or a movie.
While the older generations may have learned of this war from first-hand stories or the hundreds of books written about it, this may be the perfect way to bring the reality of 1973 into the new world.
So we brought the educational methods to the 21st century. Young people today, they have smartphones and they play games. That's where they spend bulk of their time. We brought this the format of games and the cell phones, but we brought different content for them.
The simulator, called Sagar, does not only teach about what happened, but also gives the opportunity to change the course of events.
In time of hardship and fear, we have turned to our leaders. But leaders can make mistakes. Can you make better decisions under these circumstances?
He makes a decision, and then he sees how that decision plays out. So he feels this heavy weight on his shoulders as a supreme commander of Israel. He has to manage the diplomatic arena and the battlefield. He makes a decision, and he sees what happens, what are the effects of that decision, and he gets feedback from the simulator.
Sagar is obviously getting attention in Israel, but also in other countries. Yes, those that were directly involved in that war.
Egyptians were very interested in this. I also worked with a group called Group 73 Historians, and they're very interested in us developing also the Egyptian side, which we may do in the future.
It may have happened almost half a century ago, but the Yom Kippur War will forever remain a major issue for the people of Israel. The simulator will make it real for those who were born many, many years after the war ended.